Hi friends, welcome. I am Camila for those who don't know me. And today we're going to be doing a feel good flow, everything around our hips. So to start off with, it is a sequence made, a practice made for us to feel good. So I am going to give the option to go a little deeper in some poses, go into deep poses, but please meet yourself where you are today so you can feel at ease, creating space in both mind and body so you can feel good. In Eastern medicine, and there's many philosophies that believe that the hips is the area in the body where we carry emotions. And beyond our philosophy, beyond our beliefs, giving space and time to connect with how we are feeling, I find extremely important. So today, as we release and open the entire pelvis area and hip, be sensitive to how you're feeling. Connect with any emotions that arise. Get curious and go deep into how you are feeling today. With no attachment, trying to just observe, see them as they come and go, and get curious. So with that, we are going to start in a wide knee child's pose. So big toes together, knees separating. And we're going to let the torso hang heavy between our thighs. Reaching our hands forward as the sits bones draw towards our heels. Resting our forehead. Letting ourselves land here. Maybe noticing if there's any emotion or sensation or feeling that's present as we start today's practice. And gently shifting the shoulders over the wrists, meeting in a tabletop position. We're going to take a couple moments to go through a couple rounds of cat-cows as we inhale, opening the chest, looking up. Exhale, rounding the back, tucking the tailbone in, pushing the floor away from you. Continue at your own pace, following your breath. Feeling as your navel pushes towards the spine as you come into angry cat. And your shoulders broaden, your chest broadens as you come into cow. Continue for a couple more rounds. And gently we'll meet in a neutral tabletop as we lift the right arm up towards the ceiling, opening the chest, drawing the left hip back, keeping the hip squared. And we're going to thread the right arm under, placing the back of the shoulder, the side of the head onto the mat. Lengthening the left leg out to the side, placing the foot on the mat. And gently using the left hand to press yourself up, coming onto your hands, keeping the left leg straight, lifting the torso, walking the left hand along the left leg, reaching the right arm towards the left, opening the chest to really lengthen the side of the body. And come back through center, placing the right hand towards the right on the mat so the hand, knee, and foot are aligned. Lengthen the left arm up and lift the left leg up in a dynamic way. As you exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, pushing the hips forward so you're not sitting into your hips. We're going to do 3 more. And last one, hold up here, pushing the hips forward, pushing through the left heel. Left leg is active. And gently lower, coming back through tabletop position. This time, inhale, lift the left arm up towards the ceiling, opening the chest towards the left. Pushing the right hand against the mat to really open the whole torso towards the left side. And thread the left arm under, placing the left edge of the head on the mat. Almost as if you wanted to place the back of the shoulder on the mat. So really opening the left shoulder. And lengthening the right leg out to the side. At the same level as the hip. And pushing yourself up, placing both hands on the mat. Lifting the torso, walking the right hand along the right leg. Lengthen the left arm towards the right. And back through center, placing the left hand on the mat, on the ground. Reaching the right arm up, lift the right leg. In a dynamic way, lower the leg and lift. Lower and lift. 2 more. Last one. Hold the lift, pushing the hips forward, pushing the hand against the mat to find a strong upper back. And lower the leg, come all the way up, coming through tabletop position. Placing your hands onto the mat, coming into your first downward facing dog. Taking a second or so to settle in your down dog. Finding a still down dog. Inhale, lift the right leg up towards the ceiling. Opening the hip, bending the knee. Reaching the right heel towards the right glute. And we're going to drop big beach circles with the right knee. Loosening that hip joint. 2 more. And gently draw the right knee into the nose. Hold here as you lengthen the right leg out to the left without placing the foot on the mat. And gently place the foot on the mat, lifting the left arm up. Fallen triangle, pushing the hips up towards the ceiling, broadening the collarbones. Inhale. On the exhale, lower onto your sits bones. Widening your wide-legged seated position. Hands in front of you, walking the hands forward, drawing the heart towards the front. Really finding a long spine as you fold forward, keeping the toes facing up. Gently walking the hands back in, bringing the bottoms of the feet together, Baddha Konasana. Playing around, if your knees are really up, feeling tight, you can always play around taking the heels a little more out so the knees drop out to the sides and gently fold forward. Same thing, the heart draws down. And lifting back up. Right leg under, left leg over, aligning the knees for Gomukhasana. If this feels extremely tight, you can either lengthen the bottom leg or use a block to sit on. And we're going to fold over our legs. Feeling the outer hips open. And lifting back up, finding our way into plank pose, facing the other side. Coming through a vinyasa or directly into down dog. Lifting the right leg up, stepping the right foot outside of the right hand. lowering onto the back knee, the back of the foot. Lifting the right arm up as we open the chest, letting the foot lift, knee in the same direction as the foot. And we're going to push the knee away from us, opening that hip. Maybe looking behind us. And gently placing the whole foot back down, keeping the foot facing outside of both hands, so placing the right hand inside of the right foot. We're going to lengthen the right leg, coming into like this funky version of a half split. As we push through the heel, opening the back of the leg, all toes are facing up, heart draws forward. And bending the right knee once again, placing back toes onto the mat, step it back, plank pose. Either knees, chest, chin, your version of vinyasa, chaturanga, or we'll meet directly in downward facing dog. Lifting the left leg up towards the ceiling. Opening the hip, bending the knee, reaching the heel towards the glute. Arms straight and both armpits facing down. You're going to draw big beach circles with the left knee. Almost as if you were like lubricating that hip joint. And gently knee into the nose. Lengthening the leg out to the right side. Placing the foot onto the mat. Fallen triangle. Lifting the right arm up towards the ceiling as you lift the hips. Broadening the collarbones. Inhale. And lower onto the sits bones. Once again, opening the seated position, maybe taking out the flesh out of your tush so you can give your sits bones more space to broaden. And walking your hands forward. All toes are facing up. And maybe it's not much. Maybe it's just a slight tilt forward. And as you hold this pose a little longer, tune in to that deeper sensation, that deep curiosity of any emotion or feeling that can come up throughout the class. And gently walking the hands back in, bringing the bottoms of the feet together. Baddha Konasana, knees gently dropping. Remember, if you're not on your sits bones, then you can't elongate your spine. You can always sit on a block or take the heels out slightly. And from there, fold forward as much as you can. And it might not be much either. And that's fine. We're creating space through the openings. So as we round, we are closing those spaces. That is what creates clarity and lightness in the body and mind. And lifting back up, taking the left leg under, right leg over, making sure the knees are stacked, drawing the heels close towards the outer hips, and fold forward. Making sure both sits bones remain grounded. Gently lifting the torso, placing both hands in front of you, stepping one foot at a time back, plank pose. Your version of your vinyasa, either knees, chest, chin, or a more traditional chaturanga, or we'll meet in down dog. Feel free to do your version throughout the class. Lifting once again the left leg, this time placing the foot outside of the left hand for lizard. Placing the back knee on the mat, the back of the foot, and as we lift the left arm up, let the knee open as the foot lifts, making sure the knee is in the same direction as the left knee. Opening, and we'll use the left hand to push the knee away from us, maybe opening a little deeper. And coming back through center, placing the left hand inside of the left foot as you lengthen the left leg, coming into this funky split. Again, for these deep stretches, it's always nice to have blocks so you can make the floor meet you rather than you crunching to reach the floor. If not, you can always come onto your fingertips or your leg. And gently bend the left knee. Stepping the left foot back will meet in plank pose. Vinyasa. Downward facing dog. Separating your feet a little wider than hip width. You're going to walk your hands back, dropping the hips, coming into Yogi Squat Malasana. Hands in front of the heart. As you push the knees away from you, opening the hips, lengthening through the crown of the head. To modify, you can put a block under your sits bones to support, or you can place a towel under your heels if your heels don't reach down. And close your eyes for just a brief moment to realign with that tone, that curiosity, that sensitivity that we set at the beginning of the class. To tune in with ourselves throughout the class and get curious with anything that arises, with non-judgment, just observing as those feelings and emotions come and go. Gently placing your hands back onto the mat, walking your hands forward, coming into downward facing dog once again. Bringing your feet hip width apart. And we're going to walk very slowly, one step at a time, feet towards our hands, bending the knees as much as we need, the closer we get to our hands. Into a forward fold. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. And come all the way up to standing, hands in front of the heart. We're going to take a couple minutes to go through Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salutation A. Feel free to make this your own. This is a feel-good flow. It's meant to feel good. If you want to take a child's pose, do so. This is your time. I'm going to go through 3 sun salutations. Feel free to join me. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge forward. Heart leads down. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, planting the hands next to the feet. Step or float back through your vinyasa. Lowering halfway, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 3 rounds of breath in your down dog. Making sure you're almost as you want to elongate your spine. So you're really pushing the hands away from the mat, reaching the sits bones up. That might mean you'll need to bend the knees slightly, and that's fine. Next, exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step or float towards the front of the mat. Inhale, lengthen, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold, come all the way up to standing, hands in front of the heart. 2 more. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, lift halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the hands, step or float back through your vinyasa into chaturanga. Up dog, knees lift, shoulders roll back, down dog. Three rounds of breath. Next, exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step or float towards the front of the mat. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, and lift all the way up. Hands in front of the heart. Last one, inhale, arms up. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant the hands next to the feet. Step or float back through your vinyasa. On the inhale, you're coming into upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing deeply here. And in the exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step or float towards the front of the mat. Inhale, lengthen, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold, coming all the way up. Strong, long back. Hands in front of the heart. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge forward, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. And on the exhale, plant the hands next to the feet. Step the left foot back. Usually it's a little bit farther back than you'd think. Keeping the right knee over the right ankle. Lowering the back knee, the back of the foot. Low lunge. Keeping it low, keeping the hands on the mat, reaching the heart forward. Maybe you want blocks to create a little more space and length through the spine. And lengthen the right leg, coming into a half split. Pushing through the heel. Bending the right knee once again, keeping the hands on the mat. Reach your right arm up, opening towards the side, towards the right side. Placing the back, keeping the twist, place the back toes onto the mat, lift the back knee. You're gonna come into a dynamic version of side plank. So the right foot is gonna come in front of the right of the hips, and you're gonna come onto the left, onto the edge of the left foot. So a modified side plank. Reaching the right arm next to the ear. On the exhale, lower the hips down, reaching the hand towards the back foot. Inhale, lift, pushing the hips up. 2 more. Lower, reaching back. Lift, reaching the arm next to the ear. Last one. And as you reach up, place the hand onto the mat, step the right foot back. Shift the hips up, downward facing dog. Lifting the left foot up towards the ceiling. Opening the hip, bending the knee. Feel free to stay here, or you're going to shift the shoulders over the wrist, coming into wild thing, stepping the left foot behind you, lifting the left arm, lifting the hips as you open the whole front side of the body. Inhale. And on the exhale, lower the left hand down. Bring the left knee into the nose, placing the foot between both hands. Lower the back knee, the back of the foot. Low lunge on the left side. Keeping the torso low so you can really elongate through the tailbone. And the crown of the head reaches forward. You're not just collapsing down towards the thigh. And place your hands onto the mat, place the back toes onto the mat, lift the back knee, step the right foot to meet the left, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold, and come all the way up to standing. Hands in front of the heart. Other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant the hands next to the feet. This time you'll step the right foot back. Keeping the left knee over the left ankle, lowering the back knee, the back of the foot for low lunge. Crown of the head lengthens. Maybe the gaze remains low so you're not crunching the neck. The spine is long. And keeping the hands where they are, lengthen the left leg as you push through the left heel, coming into half splits. If it's too much to keep the hands there, you can always walk them closer, tenting your fingertips, your hands, to find a little more height. And bend the left knee as you keep the right hand on the mat, opening towards the left, reaching the left arm up. Placing the back toes onto the mat, lifting the back knee as you keep the twist. Coming into a side plank. So a modified side plank, so coming onto the edge of the back foot. The left foot comes in front of your hips, facing out. So facing the same direction as the back toes. Reaching the left arm next to the ear. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Moving at the pace of your breath. Reaching the arm back. Continue for 2 more. As you lower and lift. Last one. Reaching up. And place the hand down and step the left foot back, plank pose, shifting the hips up, downward facing dog. Lift the right leg up, open the hip, bend the knee. Feel free to stay here or shift the shoulders over the wrists as you come into wild things, stepping the right foot behind you. Reaching the right arm up as you lift and open the whole front side of the body. Right arm reaches back and back through center, placing the right hand onto the mat, bringing the right knee into the nose. Step the right foot between both hands. Lower the back knee, the back of the foot, low lunge. Keeping it low, reaching the heart forward. Feeling as the left hip lower, both hips lower, to feel that opening in the left front hip. You're not collapsing down, but you are lowering enough to feel that opening. And gently place your hands onto the mat, placing the back toes, lifting the back knee. Step the left foot to meet the right. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold, come all the way up to standing. Hands in front of the heart. We're going to shift the weight towards the right foot. We're going to take the left ankle over the thigh. If this is too much, you can always make it a little lower, but it's not really tree. It's not coming inside of the thigh, it's coming over. And opening the hip, so rotating the hip to open, sort of like a standing figure 4. Woo. Working with the balance. Reaching both arms up, keeping your gaze steady, breathing softly, sitting into the figure 4. Hold here for 3, 2, taking the left foot back for warrior 2 as you open the arms, gentle transition with control. Right knee is in the same direction as the right foot, and the left foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Arms are open. Imagine I pulled through your front hand and you begin to lengthen forward. Opening the chest, lowering the right hand inside of the right foot, lifting the left arm up. As you push the arm against the leg to really open a little deeper. Open the chest towards the left side of the mat. Inhale. And lengthen the right leg for Trikonasana. Making sure you lengthen the torso, you're not rounding the upper side of the torso, the left side. Inhale. And come all the way up. Closing off the right foot so both feet are parallel to each other. Hands in the low back. Hinging forward. All the way reaching for the mat or your blocks. And same way you came down, placing the hands on the hips, long, strong back. Lift all the way, stepping towards the front of the mat. Other side. Shifting the weight towards the left foot this time. Taking the right foot, right ankle over the left leg. Opening, rotating the femur to open. So the hip is opening. And the knee pushes out to really feel that opening as you're standing here. And as you begin to sit into your figure 4 chair, you're going to feel it a little deeper. Holding here for 3, 2, and take the right foot back. Warrior 2. Left knee is in the same direction as the left foot. Warrior 2. And now as if I were pulling your hand forward, lengthen the torso as much as you can and lower the left hand down, reaching the right arm up. Creating resistance with the left arm to open the chest a little more towards the right side. Inhale and lengthen the left leg for Trikonasana. Opening the chest towards the right side, lengthening the torso. And lift all the way up through center. Closing off the feet so feet come parallel to each other. Hands in the low back, lengthening the spine. And this time, if you reach the mat, you're going to try to reach, instead of reaching for the mat, you're going to try to reach for your shins or your big toes. As you fold forward, looking for the legs or the big toes. And you're going to use that to pull the heart a little closer towards the legs. And gently lifting all the way up, stepping towards the front of the mat. Standing in the front of the mat. Okay, from here, we're going to add on to it a little bit. We're going to play a little with our balance. Feel free to take this easy. Use blocks, reach down to the ground to help yourself balance. Take it step by step. Have fun with it. So we're going to shift once again the weight towards the right foot, taking the left ankle over the right leg, figure 4. We're going to sit into the figure 4 as we push the left knee out, opening the hip, reaching the arms up. Holding here. Now we're going to continue squatting down all the way onto, all the way down. So for this transition, playing with the balance, you might want to place your hands down. If not, try to challenge yourself. Lowering, lowering. You can either come onto your toes or the whole heel down. And from here, you can try playing around with the balance if it's, and gently you're going to come onto your sits bones, keeping the foot over, the ankle over the right thigh. So a seated figure 4. And you're going to place your hands behind you, lengthening the spine. So this isn't a specific place to place the foot or the hands. This is according to your body. So if you feel like you're rounding, give yourself a little more space to lengthen a little more. If you feel like you can go a little deeper, walk the hands a little closer and the foot a little closer. Keeping a long spine, feeling the sits bones ground. You can either stay here, or you're going to bring your hands in front of your heart and twist over, placing the elbow inside of the left foot. It's a funky twist. Feel free, if this is too much, you can just twist or stay where you were. Looking over your right shoulder if it's accessible. And gently back through center, placing the left foot down. Coming into Navasana. Lifting the shins. Shins come as parallel to the mat as possible. Hands long along the legs. And now we're going to either reach for the knees or the big toes. If you're more open in your hamstrings, you can try searching for the toes as you push through the heels, lengthening the legs. The low belly's engaged to keep the balance. Feeling the sits bones root down, and you're going to open your legs to a wide angle. Feel free to grab your knees so that we're just opening the hips. You can do this with the knees apart. And gently letting go of the toes, trying to keep the height of the legs and lower down. Placing the bottoms of the feet on the mat, we're going to transition into Malasana once again, yogi squat. Placing your hands in front of you, lifting the hips up as you come into ragdoll, grabbing opposite elbows, letting the torso hang heavy. Releasing the hands, inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold, and come all the way up to standing. Hands in front of the heart. We're going to come through some other balancing positions on the same side. Feel free to modify it as you need. If you have a strap, it might come in handy now. If not, you can do so without it. We're going to shift the weight once again onto the right foot. This time, taking the left foot along the right leg, coming into Vrksasana, tree pose. And maybe the knee is a little closed in to really keep the hips squared. And as you feel your hips squared, feel the left knee opening out to the side. Tree pose. Reaching the arms up, holding here for 3 rounds of breath. And either grabbing the knee or the big toe, you're going to begin to lengthen the left leg out to the side. Right arm reaches out to the side as well. You can do this with your knee and you'll get similar opening. It's a good modification. And gently coming back through Vrksasana and release down. We're going to do all of this on the other side. Coming onto the left foot. Bringing the right foot over the thigh. And we're going to sit into our figure 4 chair. Reaching the arms up. We're going to gently play with the balance as we lower our sits bones. Maybe we'll assist ourselves by placing our hands on the mat. Or maybe we'll try to balance all the way down. When you reach here, you can either come onto your sits bones or play just for a second with the balance. And we'll all meet in a seated figure 4. Grounding the sits bones, right ankle over the left thigh as you lengthen the spine. The left foot can be more out to give yourself more space. Broadening the heart, lifting the heart. And the hands can walk out as well to really lengthen. Stay here, or if you tried the twist on the other side, you can do so as well on this side. Bringing your hands in front of your heart. Twisting over, placing the elbow inside of the arch of your right foot. Finding a long spine. Feeling the mid-back engage to really lengthen and twist. And coming back through center. Placing the right foot down. Navasana. Breathing as you hold. And either taking a hold of your knees, finding a really long spine, or your big toes. You can also modify with a strap. You're going to lengthen your legs, pushing through the heels. Making sure that we're on our sits bones, we're not on our low back. And opening the feet, separating them into a wide angle as we lengthen the spine. Arms are straight. And gently releasing the toes, trying to keep the feet high and using control, lowering the legs. Placing the bottoms of our feet down. We're going to meet in Malasana Yogi Squat. Just for a brief second as we fold forward, ragdoll. Letting the torso hang heavy. feet are parallel to each other, but maybe a little more separated than usual. Knees can remain soft. Releasing any tension that we might be carrying through the crown of the head. And releasing the arms. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, forward fold, coming all the way up to standing. Hands in front of the heart. Other side, shifting the weight towards the left foot, coming into Virkasana. Right foot inside of the left leg. Maybe we assist it with our hand to reach the heel a little higher. Both hip crusts are facing forward. And from there, you can begin to open the knee a little deeper. Reaching both arms up, holding here for a couple breaths. Remembering this is a feel-good flow. Don't push yourself further than what your body and your mind is telling you. It is meant to feel good. And either grabbing the knee or the big toe, you're going to lengthen the leg out to the side. Reaching the left arm out to the side. You can always use a wall to help yourself with the balance. And gently bending the flying leg, coming again into Virkasana, tree pose. Releasing down. Separating our feet along the mat, wide angle. Feet parallel to each other, almost pigeon-toed in a little, so they're in the same direction as the knees. You're protecting the knees. Interlacing your hands behind you, rolling the shoulders back, lifting the heart with a long spine, folding forward, letting the arms hang heavy overhead. And releasing the hands, placing them on the mat. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, forward fold and come all the way up. Bringing the heels in so the feet remain at a diagonal out. Our elbows bent. We're going to come into goddess pose. Knees bent. Tailbone draws down, lengthening the spine. And low ribs tie in together. Placing both hands onto the thighs. We're going to push the left leg out as we twist over towards the right, looking over the right shoulder. And other side. Coming back through center, lengthening it all out. We're going to come into Skandasana, bending the right knee, lengthening the left, letting the whole foot stay on the mat, lifting the left foot to face up. Right arm inside of the right leg, opening the chest. Inhale. And placing both hands down. We're going to walk our hands to the middle, lengthening both legs. Forward fold, wide angle forward fold. And come all the way up to standing. Other side. Bringing heels in for goddess. Bending the elbows. Staying here for 3 rounds of breath as you feel the low ribs tying in and the tailbone lengthening. The knees push out, opening the inner thighs. And placing both hands on the thighs, we're going to twist open over towards the right as you look over the shoulder. Pushing that knee out to really feel the opening as well inside of the leg. Back through center, other side. Back through center, lengthen it all out. Bending the left knee, lengthening the right leg, Skandasana. On the left side. Right arm inside of the left leg, reaching the right arm up as you open the chest. The right foot is facing up towards the ceiling. You can come onto the left toes to give yourself a little bit more room. And gently lower the right hand down, walking your hands to the middle, lengthening both legs, wide angle forward fold. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, forward fold, and come all the way up to standing. And we're gonna meet with both feet together in the front of the mat. We're gonna flow, meeting in downward facing dog. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant the hands next to the feet, step or float back through plank or directly into downward facing dog. Stepping the right foot outside of the right pinky finger. Lowering the back knee and the back of the foot. The right foot lifts as the knee opens and we reach your right arm up once again. Feel free to stay here. This can easily be enough. We're going to reach for the back foot, bending the back knee, reaching for the back foot. And release the back foot, placing the right hand down, wiggling the foot between both hands. Placing the back toes down, lifting the back knee. You're going to place the right shin on the mat for pigeon pose. Opening the right hip, lengthening the left leg back. So for pigeon pose, it might be nice to get a block so you can prop up the right hip to really square off the hips. If not, if you don't have any, just consciously try to square off the hips, bring them to the same height, and lower down. Surrender into your pigeon. Feel the juiciness of this pose. Let yourself sink in deep. Feel free to stay in your single-legged pigeon. If you want to take it a little deeper, feel free to stay there. That's a really nice pose, and you can use lots of pillows to support it, so you can make it like a sort of yin pigeon. If not, we're going to go for double pigeon, swinging the back leg around, and we're going to stack our shins, making sure we're trying to sort of be perfectionists here in the fact that we're trying to look for the heel over the knee, knee over the heel. The more exact we are, the deeper we're going to feel it. If this doesn't feel right because your knees are very propped up, you can prop yourself up on a block or stay in your single pigeon. And from here, once again, folding over. This requires a lot of opening of the hips. And the hips consist of so many sets of muscles and such a big joint that when we release it, there's many components that we're working on that can make it feel very deep, stretches, and can cause a lot of sensation of release and sort of what we said at the beginning, that Eastern philosophers and Eastern medicine believes that we carry a lot of emotions here. Gently, wherever you are, lifting up. Again, feel free to stay here. This is a very deep pose. We do not have to take it here. If you have a block, it's nice to use a block to prop yourself up and create a little more space. So I'm going to show you how you can modify it with a block. You're going to sit down with your block to create a little more space. And with the right hand, you're going to grab the big toe, lengthening the left leg out to the side as you reach over your head. This is extremely deep hamstring opener, hip opener. So this might look like this, and that's fine. It's a work in progress. Compass pose. And this might just be a child's pose for you, which that's perfectly fine as well. And release. If you were using a block, set it out to a side. If not, we're just going to meet in a downward facing dog. Stepping the left foot outside of the left hand for lizard on the left side. As you come onto your back knee, the back of the foot, letting the left foot open, the knee open, reaching the left arm up. And you might just stay here. Or you might reach for the back foot if you did so on the other side. Rotating the heart to open, lifting the heart up towards the ceiling. There's a lot going on here. Letting the hips lower to really feel that opening in the right front of the hip, in the outer left hip. And gently release the back foot, placing the hand onto the mat, lifting the back knee, wiggling the foot between both hands, coming into pigeon pose on the left side, rotating the left femur to open, the left thigh to open. The closer the heel is in towards you, it's a perfect way to modify, as it can be a little easier if you bring the shin more parallel to the front of the mat. It's going to be a lot deeper. Squaring off the hips and surrender forward. As you surrender into your pigeon, feel as if you surrender into your emotions, into your feelings. You're surrendering to them, to observe them. You're not resisting them, as you're not resisting this pose. Again, feel free to stay in your one-legged pigeon, or you're going to lift up to come into double pigeon, swinging the back leg forward, stacking the shins, right heel over the left knee, knee over the heel. And this might be enough, and you might just want to stay here, or you might fold forward. Grounding the sits bones down. And coming all the way back up. We're going to come back into that very deep pose, compass pose. Again, you can use a block to lift yourself up. It's going to give you a little more space. I'm going to do it this time facing forward. You're going to reach for the right toe with the 2 peace fingers on the left hand. Right arm comes to support inside of the leg. And you're going to lengthen the right leg as you open the chest, reaching the left arm overhead. This is a lot. This can be enough, or just double pigeon or pigeon. We're just doing different poses to open all those different components of the hip. Maybe looking up. And release down. Finding our way back into downward facing dog. From down dog, setting your knees on the mat, big toes together, knees separate, coming into a wide angle child's pose. From child's pose, we're going to transition into frog, which can be a lot for some people's knees. So feel free to just stay here in wide angle child's pose. If not, we're going to transition into frog by lifting the torso slightly, bringing the shins parallel to each other. I like to do this sometimes with towels so the knees can slide out as much as they want. And the knees are going to remain in the same height as the heel. keeping the hips in the same line as the knees, and we'll lower onto our forearms. Frog pose. Trying to bring your attention to your breath. Checking in with your breath and what it has to tell you. Your breath is a sneak peek inward. Gently coming onto your hands, bringing your knees together, finding your way into Dandasana, seated pose, legs together, heels push towards the front of the mat as all toes face up. As you feel your sits bones ground, inhale, reaching the arms up. On the exhale, hinge forward, reaching for the feet. The reason why we're lengthening to reach down is so you don't crunch down. That doesn't mean that you'll necessarily reach for your feet. You might reach a little higher up. But what we're looking for is that long spine. Feels good to bring your legs together, doesn't it? After all this opening. And gently coming back through center, finding our way onto our backs. Bringing both knees together. Hugging the knees in and maybe massaging the low back from side to side. Staying here for a bit to really feel the goodness of the counter movement of bringing the knees together, legs neutral. And finding stillness as you bring your legs in towards you, not your shoulders, and your torso towards your legs. So the torso remains relaxed on the mat, shoulders remain grounded, sides of the neck soft. Opening your arms in a T, letting the knees fall out towards the right as you look towards the left. Making sure both shoulders remain on the ground. And coming back through center, knees towards the other side as you look towards the right shoulder. And back through center. Lengthening the legs forward. This time, letting them completely relax with no effort. Arms next to the torso, palms of the hands facing up. Right before we completely let go and surrender in Shavasana, try to tune in once again inward and see if there's anything different, any feeling that arises that's different from the beginning of the class. Just observe it, be with it, and let it go. And surrender completely into Shavasana. I will leave you here. I encourage you to take a really good, juicy Shavasana after all that work and opening that we did. I hope you enjoyed, had fun with it, and now you're feeling good. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, and see you next time.